Okay, we are back. This is section 3. I'm going to screen share. Back to this. Is it this one? Yes. Back to you can see it, right, Deidre?
Yes, I can.
Okay, so how come? Hold on. Oh, there we go. Okay, so we just did your piece. Okay, so let's have some fun. Let's jump into architecture. I am recording. Am I recording? I'm pretty sure I am.
And yeah.
Okay. Okay. If you can record just in case, I'm pretty sure I am. Oh yeah, no, I am. But still. Okay, so let's jump into this architecture. So you are taking your business online. There are so many moving parts. We have the 2 major pieces that we know have to be in place, your story and your social, the carrier of that story, right? But now what? So now we've got a story, now we've got a carrier, but now we have to engage with people in a way that we don't lose them. It's kind of like you don't want to stand outside your store window and watch all these people, look at the window and then walk by. It's like, no, you want to be able to catch them.
Have you ever watched The 100-Yard Journey?
No.
Okay. Well, first of all, you have to watch that movie. But
Okay.
it's a family that moves from India. They end up in France. They own a restaurant. They start this restaurant. And there's this one scene where the dad is like watching people go across the street to this French restaurant. He wants them to try the Indian restaurant, and so he goes inside and he puts on his full garb, the full traditional silk kind of, and he walks out and he actually trips the guy basically, or gets his little daughter. And so he isn't fooling around about engaging people to get them in the front door, and we can't either.
Oh my gosh, I think we're going to have to pull that clip and use it in the program. I think that's hysterical.
I can't believe you haven't seen that movie. It's one of mine and Daryl's favorites. You will love it.
That is so perfect. Okay, so let's demystify all of this technology. It's like go and do a party. That's all it is. So what we're looking for in this diagnostic, as you look at what you currently have or what you currently understand and what you will be implementing, is, do you have anything that says, hey, this way to the party? Do you have all the things that you need while they're on their way to the party? Do you have a, hey, you made it, now, while you're waiting to get into the party? Do you have party time? Do you know where the party happens? And then do you have anything in your process that says, hey, thank you, thanks for coming to the party, come to the next one? That's all it is. We are saying, hey, here's the party, on your way to the party, you made it, now while you're waiting for the doors to open, and hey, it's party time, and thank you, come again to the next party. That is all it is. That's all it is. You could connect it to getting people to your store, if you want to look at it that way. Do you have a storefront people are looking at? Do you have a sidewalk out front of that store? Do you have a door to the store? Do you have a clear path from the store to the cash register? Do you have a cash register?
That's funny, but it's not funny, because when you're building your online space, it's really hard sometimes to figure out how to get the cash register.
It is. It's like, which e-commerce are you going to use? But do you have it? Do you have it? Because these are the points where we stop. We're like, oh no, now I need e-commerce. I don't know where to go.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So we stop. Or, oh no, now I need email marketing. I don't know which one to choose. So you stop. And so this whole piece is saying we have a system. We have a whole map of how to get there. You are not going to get stopped. Okay? But you need to know where you're currently.
We're not going to let you stop.
We're not going to let you stop. Okay, so part 1 of this way to the party. So the first question for you is, where are you meeting people with your story right now? AKA, we call this lead generation. Where are you currently meeting people with your story? This goes back to Deidre's question of, do you know where your social media home is? Are you meeting people there? Do you know where 2 other home away from homes are? Right? Where are those other 2 places that are kind of like, they may not be your house, but they're kind of the suburbs, right? They're like the outlying areas of of your home.
Your aunt's house that you spend a lot of time at.
Yeah, exactly. They're your best friend's house. They're your aunt's house. Where else are your homes? So for example, Facebook, Instagram, Medium, those would be mine, right? Or maybe you have Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Or maybe it's LinkedIn for you. Facebook and LinkedIn, Instagram.
Maybe right now all you have is Facebook or all you have is Instagram, and you need to figure out how to maybe bunk at somebody else's house for a little while.
That's right. That's right. They
And that's
need to build a house. They might need to build one.
Or even just rent an apartment.
Right? Because here's the thing. The social media is the sign that says, hey, party's this way, right? Then we have the funnel that takes them through the website, so to speak. It's not quite to the website. Often we post stuff on social that's linked to the website, then we get to the website, and then we go into the opt-in. But I really want you to get, if your home is the website, then your social is the sign that says, hey, come to the party, come to my house, come to my house.
You'll love it here.
You'll love it here. And you need more than one doorway. How many doors do you have? Like how many entrances to this, or how many signs do you have right now, currently? And are they big enough? Are they loud enough? Are they clear enough? Do people know that it's a pool party they're going to? Or do they think they're going to a potluck? You get it? This is that story piece. What kind of party are they coming to? What does your sign say? How many signs do you have? How many signs are active? How many signs are laying in the ditch? Where are your signs, and are they upright and working, and do they say the right things?
God, I just thought of the funniest thing. Are your signs lying in the ditch? And this could have been prophetic for my whole entire marriage, but I have to say, at my wedding, they forgot to put up a bunch of signs telling people how to get to this new golf course just outside of Victoria, and everybody was late.
Oh, okay.
For the reception, because there was no signs. Everyone was like, you said there'd be signs. And our very unreliable bridal party didn't put up the freaking signs, and everybody got lost. This is funny, but it's not funny because it's true, Tina. It's so important. The signage is really key to this. And I think it's a big step that a lot of people miss with their social and that part of it. So this is.
And it goes back to story, right? Like they're posting stuff on social media, but they're not actually giving us instructions, or they're not actually engaging us to tell us there's a really cool parties going on.
Posting stuff.
Yeah, just stuff, right? Okay, so this way to the party part one. Do you have a sign that says this way? Very specific sign. One sign that says this way to the party.
Right here.
Right here. Follow me.
Touche.
AKA, this is your opt-in. So that means there's a couple of things about opt-ins. You can have an opt-in that actually sits on the social media site itself, like Facebook. You can have a little tab for opt-ins. Instagram, of course, there's the link, right, that you have in your profile. So do you have an actual sign, like a physical opt-in, not a physical, but you get like an actual unmovable opt-in in your social media? And
okay, I have a question. I'm going to stop you for 2 seconds because this actually does tie into the signage.
Okay.
Di asked business account separate from personal, and I know she's talking about social, and it's really tough, and it's something that a lot of small business owners completely get lost in and mired down on.
Yeah.
Okay, so first of all, we're trying to be personal. And we're trying to get connected, and our signs are supposed to be saying, find me, find me. And yet when you switch over to business, they punish you sort of by saying it's not as easy to find you as a business. People actually want to connect with you personally. However, if we're thinking strategy and we're thinking structure, which this course is all about, you have got to build your business personality as a business. And using social media through your personal accounts will only lead to grief, because number one, they punish them. You're not supposed to do that. And number two, you know what? All of your friends are not your business audience. Some of them are, but a lot of them aren't. and you're just going to lose a lot of friends. So really think strategically. So the short answer is don't do it. And we will go into a lot of the reasons behind it and how to do that in the course. But it's a very good question. And those signs are important because is your party, if it's your business party, the invitation to? Who are you inviting? And yes, I know as business women, we all start with our close circle, but we're trying to build an online massive space. And it's not all going to be your friends. And I know Tina has experienced that working in network marketing. It's so much fun when your family starts to block you because you're, I don't want any more lipstick.
Oh my God, it's that lipstick lady.
I know.
I thought I was your friend, but you're the lipstick lady.
So I wanted to quickly answer that question, but I don't want to lose this. But it is part of the sign. It is part of that, knowing where to go, what to do, and yes.
So good. Okay, and Kelly had some in there too. Awesome.
Personal on business. Short answer is yes, of course it's okay. Long answer is it's better to answer as a business because as a Facebook will recognize it. But yeah, that's
great. And what I think is so perfect about this is that you're in this conversation. You're starting to recognize that there's a distinction between business and personal, and that the stories are separate. So that's really cool. And that's that whole piece about story and your public, right? Like, what is your public self? I didn't say what's your personal self.
It's a tough one. Like, I struggle with that a lot because my business is very personal, and I teach social media through my own sharing of my life and my own story.
Yeah.
Not all businesses are based that way, and I do have limits. And I have 3, 4, maybe. Well, I've got 5 Instagram accounts for different things. 3 of them are very active, and I very strategically choose where I'm putting things. And you will find you will do that too, Kelly, when you're commenting. Sometimes when Tina and I comment on each other's businesses, we are Tina and Deidre. Sometimes we are ampersand media and Tina O Life, because there's a leverage in that. And the more you learn about your business and the more you learn what your business story is, the better you'll know how to use that.
I love that. I'm going to make a note of that, Deidre. It's the leveraging piece that's key there.
And that's big key. Mm-hmm. That's something that as you grow your online business, you will learn how to, and I don't want that to sound manipulative. And I think some people will mistake leveraging for manipulation, and it's not the same thing. It's about knowing what you know and knowing how to best use information and tools that you have at your disposal. And it doesn't mean to be, it's not authentic. Like, it doesn't have to be authentic.
And I have an exercise for you that I think that will help keep the split separate. So going back to the story piece about so I have 3 public faces, right? And I really want you to look at the clients that engage with me as an artist or as a director or as a writer. They don't want to look at my slides from a hockey trip in Pemberton.
What? They don't?
They don't want to come over and look through my very poignant and beautiful baby photo of myself.
Carefully curated. Yes, it's true.
No,
it's totally true. And yet, I find that if you leverage, and you can share bits of that, like you can share those little bits and pieces of your person and your own story and your own family or your own life or whatever it is, or your pets, or it doesn't matter. But it has to be, there has to be a reason. Yeah. You can even bitch and complain online as long as there's closure and there's a lesson or there's a sharing that relates directly to what it is that that they want to learn.
Yeah.
So I'll share personal stuff about my kids on my ampersand Instagram account because I am specifically, I mean, trust me, every single post that goes on my Instagram is planned and thought out. There's a few that are randoms that I just kind of like, oh, I have to write about this. But it's because I'm targeting a particular portion of my target market, and I want to connect with them and have them resonate with what I'm saying and doing. So it's very, very, and I'll pick and choose. So Pinch of Ginger is the blog that I write. And so I will post 99% food, exactly die. It's all about intention. And I think a lot of the times, and this is a big part of the social and the opt-in and everything that we're talking about with this party, what's your intention? And are you just throwing it away? Are you just throwing away invitations to the wrong people? Are you wasting really great invitations and just tossing them in the trash? If your post isn't intentionally targeted to somebody that you want to invite into your business, you are wasting your money and time. So it's about intention. It really is. And that is all about how you target. So if you're missing strategy, it's so true though. Like and that's where we waste a ton of time. That's why we can shortcut this for you, is you get to the bottom of that beforehand. Like Tina said, this is great stuff, but the last 2 hours, if you have that figured out, you're not throwing away invitations.
Yeah. Oh God, I love that. And invitations are expensive.
Damn right, girlfriend.
Oh my gosh. Okay. So why is it not changing pages now? There we go. No, there we go. Okay. Great. Perfect. Okay. So this way to the party. So you got that so far. We got, okay. Do you have a sign that says this way to the party, AKA your opt-in on your social sites, in your organic story posts, and in your ads? Okay. So this is your opt-in immediate, meaning when they opt in. So an opt-in is where they plunk in their name and email address. They're opting in to get something. Is your opt-in immediate? Or are they going to have to wait 3 days to get it? No, it needs to be immediate. Is your opt-in immediate? Is it connected to your email marketing system? For example, here's what wouldn't look like. Here's what it wouldn't look like. This is so great. You're going to love my core story stuff. Send me your email so I can email it to you. That is not an opt-in. An opt-in is click here and I will send you this. Now, you're not going to mail this. It's going to be immediate because you have them right now. They send their name, their email. It's connected to an email marketing system. Dee and I are not going to go into all the different systems. There are many of them.
While the iron is hot, it's so important to have that as part of your strategy. If somebody wants to talk to you and they want to learn from you and they want to learn it right now, get them into your system, because we know how fickle we are as human beings. You know, we know this about ourselves. And it's got to be immediate. Like,
got to be immediate.
And we talked about that. We talked about that in the market, right? In the market, it's immediate. You get back to them right away.
Yeah, and they're waiting for it. You will lose them. So you got that. Sign goes to opt-in, right? The opt-in has to be immediate. The opt-in is connected to your email marketing system, which we will go into in the course with some best practices and what our favorites are and all of that stuff. So that will be in there. And does your opt-in create results for that person? Don't give us something free because you happen to have it, that you created it 3 years ago. It needs to create results for the person, because trust me, and this is, Dee, I know you're with me on this, times have changed. We no longer have the luxury of just having a free thing, because people want free stuff. No, they don't. People want free stuff that they want and that will change their lives right now. That's what they want.
That whole touch point thing. What is your touch point going to be when they opt in? Are you going to irritate the crap out of them? Or are you going to become their new best friend? And we'll talk about some people who do that really well and some people who maybe could use a little bit of work.
That's right. We're going to have some fun with that.
That consistency, right? And again, it's consistent. Does your opt-in fit with your story?
Yeah.
Is it you? Does it sound like you? When that email goes out to them or the gift goes out to them, does it still sound like that voice that they opted in from the beginning? To like consistency.
Consistency. And then the last piece on this is your opt-in, which is the name and email connected to an email marketing system, is that email marketing system attached to a funnel? And I'll explain that next. Or is it just a list? If it's just a list, it's over. Game's over, because you're not going to go back to that list.
And you've wasted time.
So now we move into part 2, right? We've got the signs. Hey, come, here's my party. Now they're like, oh my God, I want to come to that party. Thanks for the invite. I'm RSVPing, yes. Right? Yay! I'm coming to the party. I'm going to the party.
Tina loses her mind, and she's a party girl.
I'm the party girl. And so now, so I'm hoping you're going to get some of this jargon. We have opt-in to the funnel. Okay, so a funnel is all it is that idea of they've just walked in your store. Okay, the funnel is how do they get to the cash register? That's it.
Yeah,
that's all the funnel is.
It's a pathway.
It's a beautiful. It's a pathway, and I'm gonna get into this just briefly. Trust me, I could spend a whole like day on just funnels, but just briefly. Here's what I want you to check in with. Does your funnel, if you have one, does it provide value 3 times before you sell?
Yep.
Do you change their lives in 3 different ways before you sell? Knowing, by the way, just sidebar, some people don't want the 3. That's okay, because a really good funnel will allow them to get to the cash register faster if they want to.
That's me.
That's you. I know that's me too. I'm like, I don't want this stuff. I've already known it. But we're not your average bear. We're like, get it, got it, gone people. Whole other training. So does your funnel provide value 3 times before you sell? Does your funnel speak to 3 types of learners? Audio, so video, people who like to listen or watch. Visual, some people love pictures. Or reading and writing. You want to hit all 3 of them in your funnel, not just one. Not just one, all 3 of them. Does your funnel follow this method, which is if you want this, then you can do that. Okay, and you may not know what I'm talking about right now. It's actually in the text of the funnel. That's the kind of language you're using. Hey, if you want this, then come do that. If it's just do that, do that, do that, do that, or do you want this? Do you want this? Do you want this? Do you want this? The brain is not going to compute, press the button. It's if you want this, then do that. Oh, thank you for the instructions. I'll press that button. And does your funnel meet them where they're at?
That is so huge.
Yeah, I think that might be on the next slide. Yes, this is that piece.
Yes.
Of meeting them where they're at. Okay, so now we know we have a sign called an opt-in. We have an opt-in connected to an email marketing, and that email marketing's job is the funnel. That's what it's for. The funnel takes us down the path to the cash register. And here's what's interesting about this. Your funnel, the funnel to become a customer is just, or that path to the customer, to the cash register's desk, is just like making friends.
Yeah.
You are walking people from stranger to acquaintance, to friend, to close friend, to family. And that's why we call it a funnel, because it's like this. Not everyone's going to be your family. You are not marrying everybody.
And what's really funny is your family probably won't be your family.
Yeah, that's so true. This is the family you choose.
This is the business family. This is not your real family. So
no, it is
never
not.
know how that's going to pan out, but
there's no baggage in this family.
I just had to put that out there.
Yes, thank you for that. It's not like we're bringing everybody home for Christmas dinner. In fact, I say that a lot. I love you, but you're not coming for Christmas dinner. You're my client, but you're not coming for Christmas dinner. But I want you to just like see that in your head, that that's how it works. And the most important thing is actually the first level, which is the stranger. We have stranger danger. We get that. Stranger danger. Strangers rarely buy. That's why we have a funnel.
There's no trust there.
There's no trust. You're not going to open the door of the store and go, hey, do you want to buy this dress? It's really awesome. It would look really good on you. I think you should come try it on. You'd be like,
well,
no.
I might. I'm weird.
Do you really? Do you really?
If the dress is that great, yeah.
But would you actually walk up to someone and put that dress in their hands and take them into a dressing room?
No, I'm saying I would be the person who would buy the dress if somebody did it to me.
Ah, yes. Okay, okay.
But like you said, we're very strange animals.
And you're not selling to 2 people in 100. Your online business is selling to 100 people.
And that's why the funnel is there, to take and get them to the
That's right. Okay, so I really want you to get that, because This is how you become the crazy lipstick lady. I was actually never the crazy lipstick lady.
Danger. Where on earth did you find that? Where did you dig that puppy up? That is like a flashback.
I know, from our childhood. Remember that?
I do.
So hear me say this. Strangers rarely buy. So she's in the rare camp. Acquaintances might buy. There's a little bit of trust. Friends do buy, and I totally get if this was real life, friends often don't buy. I get that. Friends have baggage, but just come with me. It's about trust. We're tracking the trust journey, not the actual family journey. Okay? So strangers, friends do buy. Close friends will automatically buy. They're like, oh my God, this new thing, I'm in. And then family will rave about it, and they will line up for it. And they're like, this next thing, I can't wait. Okay? So we need to set up our funnel to move people through the trust cycle.
Yes.
Through the listening cycle, through the stranger danger.
Art. It's not something that's simple, and it is an art, and we will go into it.
Yes.
Yes.
So the question for you to ask, though, is currently, are you selling to strangers? Or how are you selling? And frankly, are you even selling? I guess that's the other question, right? Are you walking them to the cash register? Or are you just hoping they'll find it on their own? Okay, part 3. So you've got this now. It goes opt-in to funnel to e-commerce this way. Okay, so here's how we get there. This is how you walk through the funnel. So first off, they opt in, they get a free thing. Usually it's a guide of some kind. Then over the next 24 hours, times 3, usually, you're going to send them an automatic email of some kind. Again, automated. This is what the funnel is for. Knowing that in those conversations, they can go, I'm bored already. I just want to go to the next free thing. You're going to put that in there. We have templates for this. This is in the Grow program. It's all here. So it goes free thing, usually guide, to 3 quick videos where they get to now hear your voice and see you. And again, more conversation if they want it, or they might go, no, I'm ready for the next thing. Give me the masterclass, which is what we now have in our funnel. Dee and I now have a 3-hour masterclass that we will leverage from this time together to use in our Grow funnel. And if not this one, something else like it, but we have it now. Okay? And then from the masterclasses or webinars is where, depending on your price point, going back to the story cake, right? Depending on your price point, you might actually take them to the next level, which is a one-on-one. If I'm booking a triple threat client that has a $15,000 price point on it, there's going to be a one-on-one after a masterclass, because people just don't write $15,000 checks. They just don't. Mm-hmm. If I'm going to sell a $2,500 course, I'm also likely going to go to a one-on-one, mostly because of where my credibility is online right now. I can't go currently from a webinar to selling a $2,500 course without a one-on-one. Now, ask me that in a year from now, and I probably will. But I know where my business is. That's not where it is. And you need to know that for you. Mm-hmm. Okay?
That's a really good point, and that's something that's worthwhile thinking about and considering, and measuring your own credibility level, and not just like, I think I'm pretty credible, I'm trustworthy, I'm game, but actually, and that's where social media listening comes in, because you can actually find out what people are saying about your industry and you, and how you relate to perhaps your competitors or in your community, and that will give you a really good sense of what that number looks like and what level of trust you've already reached. And then what is your goal to get to the next level?
Beautiful. And I hope you're getting how this all connects back to the story cake.
Always.
Right? It's like totally a structure. Okay. So
structure, and the social is the pathway and the connector for sure.
Exactly. So we've gone from guide to video where they like you and see you and all that stuff, to information masterclass, and you're asking them to invest in some time. So they better be 3 steps down the road, because now you're asking them to invest time in, even though it's free, still a couple hours in this masterclass, then potentially to a one-on-one or right to a sales page. And in that sales page, that sales page had better be linked to your e-commerce site, which again, we will get to in the program, because there's lots of different e-commerce sites. Basically, it's how do you take their money? And do you have an online version of that? Or are you going to have to call each person who says yes to take their money?
Yeah, it has to be really easy, and there is that point where the cash register needs to be a little bit distant from you.
Yeah.
And I don't mean distant like, it's whatever, but that when you start to become that online and you're growing and you're amplifying yourself, you can't always be there. So the more you can automate and the more you can keep that at a non-personal level, the easier, the faster, the less your own ego and you're going to not interrupt yourself, because how often do we do that?
That is so
out of our stuff.
Yep.
Take yourself out of the picture in the places where you aren't effective, because I'll tell you, that will save you lots of time and money.
Now, on the odd chance there is somebody watching this who's a killer closer,
that's different.
But even then, it goes back to how many people can you close in an hour?
Right. We're trying to make this duplicatable so that you get to buy your own time back. Hello. That's what we want, right? We want to spend more time with our family and our kids and our fluffy dogs.
That's right. Or reading our books or whatever we do. Okay.
So wine, whatever it is that tickles your fancy, do more of that.
Yeah. So opt in to funnel to e-commerce, or if they're not going to buy yet, then they sit in your waiting room.
Yeah. And it's a really nice waiting room.
It's a lovely waiting room where you are adding value for them.
And
your waiting room,
all the touch points, it sounds like you, it looks like you, it feels like you. Your waiting room is you.
And that waiting room might also be a place where they get to talk to you online. So your waiting room can look, depends on your business, your waiting room could look like your free group, your free Facebook group, or if you have a LinkedIn group, it could be where your like-minded peeps who aren't buying from you yet, but they like you and they want to get to know you more. It might be where you pop in once a week to give away that bottom layer of the cake of your free content. And just as a side,
you're building that level of trust, you're adding the value and increasing your credibility. Your waiting room is where you get to say, hey, I actually do know what I'm talking about. Yeah. These are some of here's some examples, because not everybody is going to move from that, stranger to family phase. Everyone has a different schedule, and that's okay. We want to be able to be there for all of the different people on all of their different schedules without actually having to be there for everybody. And so the waiting room is a lovely place to reach people at all the different stages that they're at. And does anybody have any questions so far? Are you guys, is this making sense? We just want to make sure we're not blasting through, because rest assured, everything we're talking about, we'll go into much greater detail as we move into the course. We just want you to understand that this is the big picture and how we're going to get you to
and so you want to sit with, what do you have set up? What's working? And that's the other piece, is you might have all this set up and none of it's working. Like no one's coming in, and then we got to take a look at that.
Yeah.
Okay. So your waiting room might be a community online, and some people don't do the community online. I highly don't recommend that. I recommend having a community online because I think it builds muscle and habit and community and connection, and you just can't put a price tag on that. But some people really, they just use email, and that's their waiting room. Their waiting room is sending, having 365 emails or whatever, like their daily emails go out.
I have something to say.
Jump in. Yeah.
I think one of the reasons I strongly feel like you need to have different levels of this. So whether it's email or whether it's an online group, or maybe it's, a Twitter meetup or whatever it is that you do not put all of your eggs in one basket.
Yeah.
like I said in my section of the presentation, social media is here to stay, but it's not going to look like it does today. And I think a lot of people are making that error, and they're not thinking ahead. They're not thinking growth. They're not thinking change and adaptability. We, as people who want to survive in our business, and not just survive, but thrive, have to think of what's going to change in the future. How adaptable are we? How flexible are we? And is that funnel built for big announcements like what Facebook did last week when they said, we're no longer supporting this, this, and this in the feed. And if you don't have a Facebook group, as a Facebook person, if you have a huge following, they may never see you if you don't have a group, if you don't have that voice. Maybe you have all of your people in Twitter. What if Twitter goes out of business tomorrow? You don't own your Twitter space. You don't own your Facebook space. You don't own your Instagram space. So you've got to really think strategically again, that's why we don't just have one home.
Yeah. And so just to rein it in, Dee, because we have to remember that we are masters at this, and the just enough might be a little bit too big on the scope. But at the same time, think of it more like that concept that Deidre just floated your direction is about thinking about tomorrow. Thinking, and that whole piece of sustainability, and in our brand of what this program does, this program gives you just enough of everything, but positions you for a long time.
Touche. And yes, it was definitely a concept that might be a little bit beyond, but it is something that we can help you strategize and take you and walk you through. So yeah.
And it's real. Like, it's part of this program is playing it out. So there you go. So we go opt-in to funnel to e-commerce to waiting room, and there's multiple different kinds of waiting rooms. And yes, we're going to suggest you leverage multiple ones. And while they're in this waiting room, aka your coming community, you can have it might be your monthly newsletter. Do you have one? You need one. Do you do a weekly blog currently? Do you do it twice a week? But once is a good start, but twice a week is better. Do you have an online group? Do you offer quarterly events? They can be online events, but quarterly events, like seasonal events. Do you have a special annual campaign? And what I'm not trying to add things on your list. I'm trying to look at and set you up for just as social media works for you, your waiting room works for you. And it doesn't
have to be all of it.
No.
She's just giving examples of things you can do, but it doesn't have to be everything. It's just options.
But honestly, most of those things.
Most of them, yeah.
Like really, the only one that really you could probably ixnay out of there is your monthly newsletter.
Well, no, nowadays you actually do need to have a monthly newsletter.
Right? Like, let's just be real about it. And
once you set it up, it doesn't have to be an every week thing. Like, you set it up and you set up a structure, you strategize, you reuse your content.
And there's a whole section in Grow Online about leveraging your content that helps out with this.
We love leveraging. Leveraging is the key, man.
And it's actually, and it sounds funny because we think that cheapens the story, when in fact it gives it roots. It's like when you take one story and you tell it 5 different ways, or one way but 5 different aspects of it, the story has roots. You learn, your readers learn, and then the brand gets even stronger and bigger.
Absolutely. Layers of understanding.
Yeah, so it was a bit of a sidebar, but okay, so you're checking this list. All right, so while they're waiting for the party, part 2. So now I'm going to throw in another piece of technology for you. You're opt-in to funnel, to e-commerce, to community. Now they're like, I want in. Do you have a database, a CRM? Are you using a CRM? This is your customer relationship management system. We're not going to go into it today. There are lots out there. We're going to give you probably a top 3, like the people who don't like technology, the people who like just enough technology, people who love technology. The thing about a CRM is it's just like wedding invitations. If you're going to send out let's think about the royal wedding. If the royal wedding is sending out 800 wedding invitations or 2,000 wedding invitations, they need to know who's responded, if they're coming, what they said. People feel important when you remember them. And you can automate a lot of the CRM pieces. Okay. But do you have that? And it can't just be your list. Pardon me?
You know what CRM stands for?
Customer. Oh, is there something else?
No, you're right. I just wanted you to share with people.
Oh, I thought I did. Customer relationship management system.
Oh, maybe I missed it. I'm sorry if you did share it. My apologies.
I said it super fast. CRM, customer relationship management system. When you're looking at it, you want to ask yourself, can your database automate? Can your database sort? Can your database integrate with other technology? Can your database integrate with social media? Can your database integrate with e-commerce? These are
CRM within social as well.
Pardon me?
There's actually CRM within social media as well. Like there's automation that we can do within social media, and that's your next level. But that's the bots and the autoresponders and all of the things you do. So once you have a handle on who you need to reach and how you need to reach them, you need to look at those structures and pick the ones that work best for you and your people.
Yeah, that's right. Because we want to keep track of those invitations.
We do.
And they are, more importantly, the RSVPs, because they're showing up and we want to take care of them. Okay, so at the party, opt in to funnel, to e-commerce, to community, to database CRM, to automation. So now they're at the party. Now they've paid for services with you. You are doing the work, and now they're like, these are people who are at the front of the line. They're like at the front of the stage at the party, right? Yeah. Or if they're at a wedding, they're closest to the head table, right? So you want to ask yourself, do you have an online group that's just for them? So for example, I have a core story club, which is for all conversations core story, but I also have one that's core story authors club. And it's very different because these people have paid for it, which means I need to give them content. I know, again, you might be listening to this going, oh my God, there's more. Oh my God, there's more. Oh my God, there's more. But again, go back to what Deidre says about letting everything work for you. That's the purpose of it. I can actually automate a lot of the posts that go into my core story club because that's the freebie. So I use Buffer and I post a lot of stuff there. I will have conversations in there, but I'm not putting a lot of time into making sure I choose just the right thing to post.
No, and the other thing about that community that you've built that saves you time is that there's going to be consistent questions. There's going to be questions that run through and that everybody will have. So, Di, you're not the first person to ask me if you should use personal or business to build your, your online presence. So when you have these communities, it takes a little bit of time to set them up. And sometimes people feel overwhelmed by that, but you immediately are cutting back on the number of one-on-one touch points that you need to have with people. And you're still giving really good value and good information in a way that makes people feel listened to and heard. So it's a massive time saver, and it's well worth the time that you spend in the beginning to set it up.
Beautiful. And I just want to take you back to the very, very, very beginning about your one story. This is why you're seeing now at this end where there's so many moving parts. If you don't have one story, you're going to get lost. You're going to be overwhelmed. But when you let yourself actually have, and now I'm going to just geek out on my own work, when you let yourself have your core story, like your work in the world, you would fight the devil for this story. You're not going to have 8 individual groups. You're going to have maximum maybe of 3 if you're a wingnut like me and you've got your hands in 3 story piles. Most people have one funnel, one that handles all of this. I have a couple, but I'm a wingnut. I'm not everybody.
I have a couple too, but I also have some that are managed by other people on my team now because it's grown to the point that I can't always be there. So that is part of the future as well. So you just don't know.
Which we have that coming up actually. So that's great. So in your automation, and here's the other piece, very important, which we're not going to go into it. It's its own conversation. Do you have customer outcomes? This is about your brand promise. This is about your story. This is about, like, how do you know if they're going to get, how do you know if they got it? How do you know? Do you know? Do you have anything automated to help you sort that out? How are you accountable? And how are you in touch with them? Here are some automation tools to help you with that. Things like surveys, things like weekly Q&As, things like quizzes, like fun quizzes, things like having a biannual VIP summit where you gather everybody that you've ever worked with and you take on a topic and you dive into it, and all of these kinds of conversations will show up. It's where do you touch your customers? There's Deidre's word of touch point. Where do you touch your customers after you've delivered so that they know and you know that they got it? Again, we're at the party. I want you to think of your finish line as the last dance of the party. Remember in high school, it was like, I don't know, for me, it was Stairway to Heaven. Like, we always knew we were at the end of the dance because we were dancing the Stairway to Heaven.
Mr. Christian.
Mr. Christian, oh, the time has come. Right? So think of your finish line with your service as the last dance of the party. What have you clarified? Have you clarified what the step is in your service process? Now we're on the last part of this come into the party metaphor. Now you go into the thank you, come again. So just to walk you through it, opt-in to funnel, to e-commerce, to community, to database CRM, to automation, to now VIP high touch. This is like Dee's favorite. She rocks at this. I suck at this. Let's just call it out. I do. I am so, you know what it is? I totally compensate on the community side, and not because I'm so bad at the VIP high touch, but because I just prefer the community side. So I often forget that it's actually on, and it has been for years, on my list to really rock this. I'm just being transparent here.
And you know what's interesting, and the reason why it's so important to have those customers who worked with you, because it's less expensive and it takes less time to work with the customers that you've already worked with. They will come back. Right. You introduce new products. You introduce another level of service for them. You get to introduce something else to them. It is so much easier. And you'll hear this in every business across the board. This is not new information. I didn't invent this. This is just fact. It is so much easier to get return business from a client that you've worked with who is happy and who already knows, likes, and trusts you. They will come back. And they will also be your biggest fans, which is, the best kind of referral ever. So,
yeah. So one of the ways to do that is you go back to your CRM, right? And you have a list in there that says VIP, and you tag them. Again, it's a CRM thing. You indicate that, and now you've got that specialized list. Just something to think about. Okay, so now we're going to overview, okay? So step one, you've got your one story, okay? In pictures and words and a video, that one story takes them to an opt-in to a funnel, which is your email marketing system or your drip system, your blog feed, however it ends up getting put together. Then that funnel leads them through to e-commerce through using an email marketing system and those 3 touch points at minimum. And then your e-commerce becomes part of your CRM, and you also offer a community. You have public and private groups. And lastly, you have your community moves to automation to VIP through video conferencing, social media management, the phone, gifts, all kinds of ways to love on these people. And again, through community and automation to that VIP list. Whew. A lot of information, right? So this next piece is kind of like the clarifying questions, right? That we did, the key questions to remember. So a lot of you ask these kinds of questions, so we're just going to give you some answers. I have put together 3 lists of metrics, success metrics: basic, established, advanced. Sometimes what we do is we measure advanced to where we are right now, and they're like, forget it, it's over, why am I bothering? It's just too much. Why, right? It's you are wherever you are. So
don't stop before you start.
Exactly. So on a basic level, basic, you have a warm market. So my question is, do you know where that warm market lives? Do you have it on a list? Do you have a list of 200 emails of your near and dear? Again, these are not your close friends and family, though they might be, but do you have that? Have you created that yet? If you haven't, that's your first thing to do, is to go and ask people, hey, I'm starting a list for my business. Is it all right if I send you something every now and then? Get permission, anti-spam, bad. You don't want to spam people. You can get fined millions of dollars. But you need to collect your emails. You need to collect your list. And if you don't have it, that's okay. It means you're going to be building one. You need to have your cold market set up. This is not your warm market. Your cold market, where are your signs? Do you have a Facebook page, a LinkedIn profile, Instagram profile, minimum, a blog? Do you have that covered? Do you have your one story to your opt-in? Are you using an email marketing system? If you don't yet, you're gonna need to check that off.
Yeah.
Do you have a consistent public photo? I have 3. I know I'm weird, but at least I know those are the 3. And they represent those 3 parts of my story. You might have 1, most people only have 1, or you might have 2. Do you have a 3-part funnel system from cold to warm to customer? On the basic level, you should know what your story cake layers are, at least 1 and 2, maybe 1 to 3. And you know them and you've built them. Weekly blog content. Do you have it, even if you're not writing it, do you have a sense of what it might be? Potentially a monthly newsletter campaign. An annual campaign. God, your annual campaign could be as simple as holiday season and summer season.
Yep.
But it's annual and it's automated. You've built it. You only have to make 2 freaking newsletters. Build them, right?
Freaking newsletters.
No.
And you know what? Okay, let's just quickly go back to your blog. You know, have you thought about the topics for the blog? Yeah, you already have thought about the topics for the blog, because I already told you to think about the topics for the blog, and that is, what are the questions that people ask you all the time? So
Brilliant.
Content is not like, don't reinvent the freaking wheel, and stop thinking that you have to be the person who does everything perfectly and you answer every question. You don't have to answer every question. You have to answer your people's questions succinctly, one at a time.
Yeah.
With 300 to 500 words. You don't have to write the next great American novel. It's keep it simple, and you will be able to manage it.
Yeah.
Even though it sounds overwhelming, it's manageable. It's doable.
And at the end of our program of Grow, this is handled.
Yes.
We'll
cover all this.
Completely, lock, stock, totally done.
Yeah.
Now, some of you might be a bit further ahead, and we'll move here. So, success metrics, RE established. You have a warm market of, by the way, this is where I am. I'm in this level. Some of it might be a bit further. I'm actually a bit further on a little bit on the other one. But really, if you had to like nail me, I'm like, yep, this is me. I got this. This is handled. So yeah. warm market with 2,000 loyal people on your list. You have 1 of 3 drives of your traffic done. Your book, your talk, or your program. Which again, some of you will be, we have a whole section in the Grow program that's about writing your online program. So you'll have that too. You'll have the beginning of that anyway, the rough draft of that, maybe further if you work hard. You are now profitable from your online business.
That was just a carrot. Maybe further if you work hard. That was a mom thing.
No, I know, but some people do. Some people are like that.
Okay, keep going. I'm sorry.
Okay, that's all right. So if you're established, then your story cake 1 to 5 layers are built. They're built. You got them. You're also comfortable now doing weekly Facebook Lives or more. You are putting out fresh content weekly. You are leveraging your content 3 times a week. And you have daily engagement on your home, whatever that is, social media site. You're converting from cold to warm, from warm to customer daily. And you have an assistant now, as Dee talked about, that runs the story cake 1 to 3, so you can do 4 to 5. I'm going to confess, I don't have my assistant yet.
Day you do the assistant thing, that is your happy day.
I'm so close.
You're there, baby. Just it's right. You can taste it. You can taste it.
So true. Hey. Okay. So the third level is advanced, and here's what's beautiful. Everything you build this year runs next year. Everything that you build this year runs next year and moves to advanced the year after, as long as you consistently show up. So I want you to get, by getting the basic done, this advanced is going to happen as long as you show up. So at the advanced level, you're looking at it going, do I have 8,000 people in my warm market? Are all of my pieces ready? Book, talk, program. You are living from your online business, as in you're making enough money that you now support your life from your online business, your one story. And your focus is story cake 4 and 5, because online and your assistant handle 1 to 3, and you possibly have a team member to expand level 3 to 4 with you. You probably won't give up 5 because that's your baby. That's why you came out of the planet.
That's why you have it. Yep.
That's yours. All the rest of the stuff still happening. Your weekly Facebook Live, fresh content weekly, leverage content 3 times a week, daily engagement on your home social media site, and you're getting leads daily. Whew. So now I know there's a reason we don't start with this, because if we started with this first, you'd be gone. You'd be like, that's it, I'm done. I got everything I need to do. There's too much. What do I do now? Oh my gosh. Listen, this diagnostic is to give you an idea of where you are. The truth is, you are lying in bed at night worrying about that whole bloody list anyway. That's why you're not acting, because you're running through that list. Deidre and I know that you just do the first hour what we did with you. You just focus on story, and then you just focus on social. And you put a couple, like 5 of these pieces together, that whole five step to go from social to in your CRM. 5 steps.
And I can't help but say the takeaway from all of this information that we've shared with you today, all of this stuff that we've given you today, you don't need to know anything, and you're just enough. Like, it's just, there's so many things that we have learned from doing way more than we should have in some cases.
Yeah.
We want to share the fact that some of our biggest successes have come from just being so true to the story, being so true to yourself, knowing that if you just take a little risk and put one of those things out there, it will be enough, and it will take you to that next step that you have to do. And it does grow organically, doesn't it, Tina?
It does. It really is
easier when you don't fight against the story.
It totally does. And you know, they're like stairs. That's why we built the cake, right? Like you build the story cake one layer at a time. Some people build it backwards, which is totally fine. They start with their high offering first and work down. Some people go from the bottom up. It doesn't matter. You just build it, and one piece leads to the next piece.
Yeah.
So the question for you now is to just breathe. Breathe and ask, where am I?
Yeah.
Like, what's working really well? What am I confused about? Write that down, highlight it. What am I overwhelmed by? What am I afraid of? And what am I excited about? We're going to work from what you're excited about first, because there's juice there, and we're slowly going to chip away at the stuff that you're overwhelmed at, and we're going to deal with the fear one step at a time. So some of you are in the GROW program already, and if that's you, this diagnostic is to get you ready for when we go live, when the program is up and running February 1, and if you're watching this years later, it's already up. It's just going. And but it's really to take this time to check in with where the state of health of your business right now, and your head. Hey, like where your head is at.
It's one and the same.
Yeah, it's one and the same.
Yeah, the more we know that, the easier it is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then the next piece is, what do you need? What do you need? Some of you who are in the program already, you're already in, you've already done this. You've joined the Women Growing Online Facebook group. You've done a Tina Oh Hello call with me, and you've come in to grow. The GROW program and the Story Cake, it's like a second or third tier probably a third tier price point. So some people do need a conversation. Some people don't. Some of you are just ready to go, whatever it is, but don't hold back. Don't hesitate. I am not going to spend a half an hour on the phone talking to you about technology. That is not going to happen. No. I am going to spend a half an hour on the phone with you to talk about what you're ready for and make a recommendation. That's what we do. And so I want to just, we're right at 6 o'clock now, so we're right on time. Just want to close this with a personal thank you for your investment of time and an acknowledgement of what Dee said. And I'll let you say goodbye too, of course, Deidre. You are enough, you know enough, you have enough. And this is the thing that I always say, and it's totally true. Like, this isn't just like, inspirational wall art. Like, truthfully, this is true. You can only see in others that which you have in yourself. You can only see what's possible based on what you somewhere inside of you believe you already know or could know. And here's why, just so you don't go, yeah, she's full of shit. If you couldn't see it, you're in a blind spot.
Yeah, it's not there.
If you can't hear it, you're in a blind spot. If any part of you can see and hear this, it's already there. It's just following the stones in the garden to get it realized, to take it from the inside to the outside. So I just want to acknowledge your awesomeness. And no, we're going to bloody well just get this done. So let's just get it done. Okay.
Yeah, it's so exciting. My goodbye is just, it's very similar to what Tina said, in that we already know that if you've been drawn to this program, that you're exactly where you need to be right now. And that's what's so exciting for us, is that we are not claiming to be gurus or experts, or we're just in it with you. We're in the trenches with you. We get it. We have figured out a few things that really do work. And we were tired, frankly, of seeing programs offered online and going through that ourselves and being disappointed over and over again. And so we spent a lot of time, thought, laughs, actually a few tears too,
yeah,
to figure out what the point of this was. Why is this different? And it is that just enough key. It's just, we don't want to overwhelm, even though we're going to once in a while, but it's exactly what you'll need to get you to the next place. And I'm so proud of what we've done. And I want everything that we do to model what you're able to continue and to bring to the world. Whatever it is that you do, we're just excited for you. So let's get this started.
Yeah. All right. Woohoo!
Yeah. Thanks for your time, because we understand. We value that. We value that you chose to spend this time with us very much, because it's my biggest investment too, is my time. So thank you for that.
Okay, so we'll see you in the Women Growing Online group. I'm wondering, am I hearing a sound like someone wants to say something? No?
Kelly said thank you. Di said thank you, so good. Yeah, so.
Awesome. So we're good. And it's 3 hours. We should go make dinner for our families. Okay. Loving you all. See you in the Women Growing Online. See you in the program. We'll see you there.
Yeah. Any questions? Just on the online, the Women Growing Online, just ask. We're there.
Yeah. Okay.
All right.
Bye, everybody.
Have a good evening. Bye-bye.